You know, here I was thinking like, oh man, Balance Unlimited is like behind all the other shows. It better hurry up before the season's over. What's it got? Like 4 more episodes left? 3? No, it's got 2. It ends at 11. Well, damn, it feels like it just came back, but already it's just about to leave. Anyway, with that said, hello everybody. Welcome back to our weekly Balance Unlimited discussion video. Today we're here to talk all about episode 9. A golden key can open any door, but before we get into that, quick reminder, if you haven't done so yet, to hit that sub button. If you already hit that sub button, consider hitting that join button. There you go. Got that out of the way. Now let's go ahead and talk about today's video. Alright, so this episode can basically be split into 2 different topics. Now the last few episodes it has been like 3 topics, specifically Haru, Daisuke, and Cho! But alas, as we recall from last week, Cho has bit the dust. So there is no more Cho to be found. There will be no more Cho here, although he does still play a role from beyond the grave. But yeah, we will get to that when we get to it. We should probably start with Haru, since Haru is clearly still pretty bitter with Daisuke. The episode begins and he's just sort of sitting in one of Daisuke's fancy-ass chairs, just like trying to process everything that's happened. And Daisuke doesn't make things any better when he flat out throws his badge on the table and walks away. And I feel like this probably triggered some not so pleasant memories for our boy Haru, as he seemed pretty frustrated by that. And as we find out in this episode, that's not exactly something he's unfamiliar with. And even when he gets back to Modern Crimes, it's not good. Like, you could just see that Haru is not really dealing with everything the best. Like, he's trying to internalize most of what's happened. Obviously, Cho and Take were incredibly important figures to him, so to have them both suddenly snuffed out, that's a huge loss. And he's trying to process this, and he's trying to kind of internalize a lot of it. You see it come out in little bursts, like when Boss Boo says, like, you should probably go talk to Daisuke. He probably has all the information you need, more than we have here. And Haru's just like, he's not a cop anymore! Like, he just snaps, and it's like, whoa, alright, relax. Like, it's not that serious. I mean, it is that serious, but like, damn, Haru, you don't gotta yell at Boss Boo. Now, normally I would have allowed yelling at Boss Boo, because Boss Boo gave me like bad vibes, but now that I know that he's a good man, I will not tolerate any more yelling at Boss Boo. Especially since Boss Boo is like clever as shit and gets Modern Crimes away from First Division, which, yeah, that happens. But before we get to that, I do want to hammer home, like, yeah, Haru is not okay. And the fact that he's separated from his boyfriend, I mean, his partner, I mean, his totally gay partner, I mean, shit. I mean, his partner, his police officer partner. That's what I meant. It's absolutely what I meant. It's not what I meant. But yeah, being separated from Daisuke obviously has really screwed him up. And he only gets further screwed up when, oh my god, Hoshino and the First Division storm into the Modern Crimes Division and take Haru, because of course they do. Hoshino has spent the majority of his screen time, in fact I'd say all of his screen time, bothering me. And we are now 3/4 of the way through the show. 3/4. And he has spent almost all of his screen time bothering the shit out of me. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like, I remember distinctly saying that I would not badmouth Hoshino, since I know that since all these character designs are top tier, and I know that people really gravitate towards these character designs, and I know that people really gravitate towards these characters in general, that there are going to be fans of Hoshino, so maybe I should back off a bit. No longer. Hoshino is a whiny brat. He is a whiny, judgmental asshole, and has been this entire time. And I was so frustrated when he's just like, we're taking you in as a witness to the murder of blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, you could have done this so much better. Like, you could have been like, hey, Haru, we gotta take you in for questioning. We gotta figure out what the hell happened. You're the only witness here. I don't see Daisuke, so you're gonna have to come with us. But no, he has to be like, no, you're coming with us as a witness to the blah, 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 like, and this is like and we're taking the keys to your car, and we're like locking Modern Crimes in, and you guys better not pull anything at Haru, you're coming with me. And it's like, Hoshino, you look like you are like 100 pounds soaking wet. You look like a child in a world of adults. You act like a child. You're judgmental. You're cruel. You're just downright shitty as a person. So at this point, I'm done with you. I'm done with your first division partners. I don't care about the fact that he like changes his mind when he realizes that he's been a dick the entire season. Because I do think maybe we'll get a second season. I don't super know, but I think so. So if we get a second season, then yay, maybe we can save Hoshino. But as of this season, as of episode 9 of Balance Unlimited, no, Hoshino sucks. I do not care that he has a change of heart. I truly do not care. Like that, to me, I was just like, good, you had a change of heart. That's great and everything. But too little too late, my G. Like, I've been waiting for you to have a change of heart for a while, and you have been, like, consistently an asshole. The only person I've seen you be even slightly nice to is Daisuke. And I'm still not on great terms with Daisuke right now, so that really means nothing to me. But yeah, so, I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love Daisuke. But I mean, like, I have love for Daisuke, even though I'm still a little salty about what happened, although Daisuke is also clearly salty about what happened. I ain't got no love for Hoshino. If you like Hoshino, all the power to you. Respect that decision, but respect mine when I say that he's been a dick this entire time. So even at the end when he's like, oh, you were trying to retire? Oh, I had no idea. Oh, I feel bad now. I guess I'll drive you to the pier now and watch you get on the boat while I just sit here. Hoshino sucks. We also get a bit of Haru's past as well. We get to know a little bit about Haru's past. Well, when I say a little bit, we basically see the man's whole past laid open like a book. Now, we know that Haru had some PTSD in regards to shooting that civilian, at least who we assumed was a civilian, because we're like, why did she shoot that guy? My running theory was that the woman was like his girlfriend or fiance or something like that, and she worked at the bank, and so she was like shocked to see him there, but obviously when he gets shot, that's like her partner, so like of course she's gonna react. And maybe that was the case, we don't super know, but what we do know is that she was absolutely an accomplice. Take says, like, she was an accomplice, like, she was in on this, like, she knew what was gonna happen, and she knew what she was walking into, so, you know, she knew the risks when she decided to help the dude rob the bank. You did nothing wrong. Like, you did nothing wrong. But, obviously, Haru don't feel that way, and he even, like, goes over to her after shooting her, and he picks up the gun, and when he opens it, all the bullets are like fake. So it's a toy gun, right? So he's like, oh, son of a bitch, right? So he shot this woman, and he didn't have to, you know? Like, he had to, but later he realizes that he didn't have to, but obviously he didn't have that information at the time, so like, what was he supposed to do? I don't blame Haru at all, but I do understand why he's blaming himself. And we see this like really emphasized when he's like at the shooting range, and I love that like the guns. This is just like something I noticed about Japan in general that I think is really neat, is that the guns are like attached to the cops. Like it's like a wire that is like attaching the gun to the like that. I don't know why. I just think that's really cool. But yeah, so Haru like has the gun and he's like at the shooting range, and he's trying to shoot the target. He's trying to break the targets, to quote Smash Brothers, but he just can't aim. Like, it's too shaky, you know? Like, he just can't. He has, like, whenever he puts the gun up to his sights, like, whenever he holds it up so that he can aim, he can't help but think of the time that he shot a woman in the chest for no reason. But, you know, it obviously haunts him. And again, it's not his fault, but it obviously digs at him to the point where he ends up trying to resign, right? He hands in his letter of resignation, and this is where Hoshino comes in, because this friggin' idiot overhears part of the conversation and assumes that he knows everything, because again, Hoshino is a friggin' worse. But what's actually happening is Take basically saying, like, I will not accept this. I do not accept this. And Hoshino thinks that he's talking about the case, but really, Take saying, like, I don't accept your letter of resignation. I will never accept this. Like, this is not at all okay. Like, you did nothing wrong. You're a good cop. Like, I don't know what you're doing. And it makes me feel all the more bad that Take's gone, because he was a good dude. Like, he did some stuff that obviously wasn't good, but ultimately I think he leaned more on the side of justice. So it sucks seeing this backstory because it's like, oh, Take, you deserve better. You and Sho both deserved better. But yeah, Haru, that's basically his backstory, is that Haru didn't feel like a hero anymore, and that's why he wanted to become a cop in the first place. So he felt like he couldn't hold a gun, he can't be a hero, so what the hell is he doing here, especially in the first. So he gets demoted down to the Modern Crimes Division, and that's where we pick up with the show, and that was pretty heavy, pretty heavy stuff. Like, we already knew parts of the backstory, but I feel like this week we really get to dive into it, and it just kind of cements Haru as like a very legitimate character. And this even comes in again later, like towards the end of the episode, where Haru is like on the boat with Daisuke, and like he gets the message from Suzue before his phone fries, and we'll get into all the tech stuff in a sec. But yeah, like he gets a message from Suzue before the phone fries, just saying like, hey, Daisuke's on the boat, please take care of Daisuke, I'd really appreciate it. And of course, Haru, like the rest of us, be simping for Suzue, so he's like, god damn it. So he's like, fine. But realistically, the instant he saw Daisuke, he'd be like, oh damn it, like that's his boyfriend, so of course he'd want to go save him. So yeah, it puts him in the spot where he has a gun trained on who I can only call either Bizarro Victor from Yuri on Ice or Evil Lev from Haikyuu. Like, that is who this dude is. Like, that like the bad guy that Daisuke fights is just that, right? Where I'm like, what the hell? Who's this? But yeah, it's a hell of a design. Hell of a design. But obviously when Haru raises the gun to him, he can't take the shot. He can't just take the damn shot because he still has his PTSD. So when he lifts the gun, he doesn't see Bizarro Victor / Evil Lev. No, he sees the woman in his mind's eye. Like, we don't see it on screen, but you know that that's what he's thinking about. And even though it's so clearly, like, he has, like, a shot, even a shaky shot would be helpful right now to get the guy to stop whooping the shit out of Daisuke. And again, we'll get into it. But, yeah, he just doesn't have it in him. He can't do it. And it's like, damn it. And that's where we leave the episode, too, is Haru unable to take the shot. It's like, oh, shit, I don't know what's going to happen next week. As for Daisuke, there's a little bit less to say. Still impactful stuff with Daisuke, but less impactful to me than the Haru stuff. Haru really stole this episode as far as I'm concerned. But as you can see by the picture I'm likely using, Daisuke does get battle damage. And if there's one thing I will tell you about characters, and if one of the lovely mods, Kisa, happens to be seeing this video, Kisa's a mod of ours over on Twitch, which reminds me, twitch.tv/JoJo Talks Too Much. Come hang out if you want to be super cool. But one of our mods has this same, shall we say, interest that I do, and I'm sure some of you guys out there have this too. Don't tell me that Daisuke doesn't look hot as shit when he's beat up. Don't even try. Don't even try to tell me that. I don't know when this started. It may have been Dragon Ball, but I like when characters look beat up. I don't know why. They just look hotter. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that says about me. I think I might be a little bit of a masochist, but yeah. Or what is it when you? I don't know. I don't know what the phrase is, but listen. I think part of it to me is like seeing them battle damage. It's like, that's hot, but also I want to protect you and make you feel better. Like, you know what? I want to fix you up. You know, I like a project, as it were. Yeah. So when I saw Daisuke, I'm like, ooh, damn. I may be simping for Suzue, but I'd be simping for both members of the Kanbei family at this point. So yeah, it is what it is. I just had to point that out. But as I said, Daisuke is going through some shit as well. He definitely shows some genuine emotion this week, which is rare for Daisuke. He's normally a pretty, I don't want to say emotionless, because it's not that he's emotionless, but he's a pretty reserved dude. You know, shall we say, like, he's calm and quiet, and he kind of keeps to himself. He doesn't really wear his emotions on his sleeve in the same way characters like Haru do. So he's harder to read. So this week, when he's showing genuine emotion, it's like, oh, wow, there's a change of character. Unfortunately, those emotions are rage, because he is absolutely furious with Granny Kanbei, and I understand why, but I'm like, man, it's Granny Kanbei. She's so sweet. Don't be mad. Don't be mad, Daisuke. Come on, don't be mad. But obviously, you understand why he's mad. Because Granny Kanbei is like, what did you expect me to do? He's my son. Like, of course I was going to protect him. And he's like, cool, so if you have that thought in your head, don't you think it's also right that a son would want to attack and take down the man who murdered his mom? Right? Like, of course Daisuke's like, hello? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just saying, like, are you serious? Like, can't you understand why I'm furious? Can't you understand why I want his head on a spike right now? And she can't deal with this, right? She's like, oh my god, my grandson is now trying to kill my son. And he's not wrong for doing so. Like, you could tell that she knows that Daisuke is right. But she also probably knows a lot more. Like, again, I have a feeling like they're going to try to justify what Shikamaru has done. And listen, I don't really care about what Shikamaru did to Sayuri, because I don't know Sayuri like that. I care what he did to Take and Cho. I did see a comment saying maybe Take and Cho are alive, but we saw bodies, dog. Like, we saw body bags. You know, we saw body bags, and we saw blood everywhere, and we straight up saw Cho get stabbed this week when we see, like, a flashback where Cho puts the dice underneath Shikamaru's collar, which I was like, God, Cho, such a friggin' legend. I'm gonna miss that man so much. But yeah, Cho getting, like, we saw it. They're dead. Like, they are super dead. Would I be happy if they're alive? Abso-friggin-lutely. It would hurt the emotional crux of that scene a little bit if they turned out to just be okay somewhere else. But honestly, I'd be kind of happy because I love those characters, so I'm not against them coming back. But I do think they're going to try to redeem Shikamaru, and unless Cho and Take come back, no redemption for Shikamaru as far as I'm concerned. It could be that's like Sayuri was like, it could be a Sasuke situation, it could be an Itachi from Naruto situation, right? I still won't forgive, because it's like, no, I don't care. You killed Cho and Take. Absolutely no, sorry. Also worth noting, that Daisuke does a whole lot of stuff in this episode where you can see him not caring even remotely about his own safety. However, the instant Hoshino says, hey, Shikamaru's on the boat, and Daisuke's like, yeah, I know. And he's like, yeah, so is Haru. Well, they say Kato, but I say Haru. They're like, so is Kato. And Daisuke's like, huh, what? Like, you see genuine, like, huh? Like, his eyes go wide for a second. He's like, Kato? He's like, oh, damn it. Like, and again, it's like, I have to save my boyfriend. I mean, my partner. I mean, my gay lover. I have to go on the boat now. I have to go save him, as if I wasn't already going on the boat. This is where I'm going to now transition. I'm still going to talk about Daisuke, but I need this to be shown on screen, where we see Bizarro Victor / Evil Lev. And you may notice that this man has a laser cannon on his arm. This is also where I tell you that in order to get towards the boat, Daisuke drives the car into the water and drives after the boat, you know, in the car, in the water. And when he does that, he has a super suit. Honey, where's my super suit? Oh, Daisuke took it. Yeah, Daisuke has a super suit. That dude has a laser cannon, and Shikamaru also uses an EMP that knocks out all technology except the very specific energy from all electricity. All electric tech gets knocked out, and EMP knocks that shit out, and they have like laser cannons. This is Metal Gear Solid. This is just Metal Gear Solid at this point. I'm not against that. It's just that, like, from the weird future tech that we hadn't seen up until like 2 or 3 weeks ago, the show had basic tech where I'm like, okay, drones, yeah, cool. Cars, sure, yeah. Holograms, okay. I'm a little bit iffy on that one, but that does technically exist. And then we have like virtual reality that is projected onto your retina, and super suits and laser and wrist-mounted laser cannons. And okay, this is Metal Gear Solid now. I'm straight up expecting a Metal Gear to walk out at the end. Like, at the end, this is totally just a Metal Gear spinoff, and I'd be super okay with that. If Raiden or Snake showed up, I'd be like, hell yeah, dude. Like, that'd be really cool. I'd be up for that. But yeah, laser cannon. That's the thing that happens. And Evil Victor here Bizarro Victor / Evil Lev is basically Shikamaru's bodyguard. And he is probably the dude, now that I think about it, probably the dude, or at least one of the dudes responsible for killing the first captain, like forever ago in the flashbacks. And as you saw in the picture before, yeah, he absolutely proceeds to kick the ever-living shit out of Daisuke. Daisuke's suit helps him, like, initially, right? Because it gives him, like, super strength, I guess, or agility, or something. But when the suit malfunctions because of the EMP that knocks out all tech except for the very specific tech that that Bizarro Victor / Evil Lev has. Sorry. It means Daisuke only has his fists and also his legs, and they don't really serve him as well as they do for Bizarro Victor, and Bizarro Victor beats the ever-living shit out of our boy. And unless Haru is able to, I don't want to say man up, because it's not that. Unless Haru can overcome his PTSD, that has nothing to do with manning up. That has everything to do with holy shit, that is incredibly difficult to do, and if Haru does it, I will be very impressed. My best guess is that instead of shooting him, Haru's just gonna jump at the dude. And then the two of them are gonna have to take this guy out together, and then go after Shikamaru, which I'm very much up for. But I don't really know where we're gonna go. After this week's episode, I'm like, okay, you actually paced this out nicely, where you can have, like, all, like, the action stuff happen next week, and then have the week following be just the wrap up for the show. Because I don't know if we're getting another season. I certainly hope so. But if not, then yeah, you can probably wrap things up in like 2 episodes. I feel like that's possible. But yeah. But with that said, everybody, that's basically all my thoughts on this week's episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then don't forget to boop that up snoot and share if you care. And of course, as always, I have to give a big thank you to the good folks in the T Squadron. Look at these beautiful people. Look at all these beautiful names. And hey, if you would like to join these beautiful people, there are now 2 ways to do so. The first is by hitting that Patreon link in the description. And the second, for just a little bit more, is to hit that join button next to the sub button. You get yourself a nifty badge next to your name and some emotes to use in both Premier Chats and the comments. I was not aware that the emotes work in the comments, but thanks to some of you lovely members of our lovely T Squadron members who actually are members of the channel, it turns out, yeah, you can actually use those emotes in the comments as well. So friggin' become a member today, man. Use some emotes in your comments. I would love to see it. But with that said, everybody, that's it for me. So until next time, you stay classy, AnyTube, and wash your dang hands.